So this is something that's kind of hard for me to talk about, but I do feel like the Lord is telling me to share, so here we go. When I was in my early 20s, I really thought that I knew what I was doing with my life. I had a decent job, I was making decent money. I decided to get married and I had 2 kids. By the time I was in my mid-20s, I was getting divorced. I became a single parent that had to move back home, and my life kind of flipped upside down. My life was pretty much not going how I was expecting it to go. Fast forward to now, I am thankful for everything that I went through, because even back then at the time, it felt like my life was falling apart, but it helped me grow so much. And I'm glad that things didn't turn out the way that I thought that they were supposed to back then, because God has really shown me things that I never would have paid attention to or really looked at had things not happened the way that they did, if that makes sense. God was definitely looking out for me and protecting me. But I still don't have everything figured out, and that's okay. There are times where I don't feel like that's okay though. There are times where I feel like I'm a failure because I don't have everything figured out at my age. It makes me feel like I'm behind in life or I'm doing something wrong. And some days I just wonder, will I ever have it all figured out? But the truth is, God's plan that He has for my life is what I'm living. He has me on a path that's different from other people's paths. All the paths that we are walking on in life are different. Some of our paths are bumpy and rough. Some are smoother than others. Some start off real smooth and they get bumpy further down the road. Some start off pretty bumpy and then get smoother as time goes on. Some paths are short, some paths are long. But either way, we are not behind in life. We are where we are supposed to be. Just because my life doesn't look like the next 30-year-old's life doesn't mean I'm doing anything wrong. It means that they are where they're supposed to be and I'm where I'm supposed to be. And if I am too busy focusing and comparing my path from someone else's path, I'm going to miss what God is trying to show me and teach me at this time in my life. I'm never going to be happy if I'm constantly comparing. I'm learning that you don't know what's up ahead for other people, and you really don't know what's necessarily up ahead for yourself either. You can try and plan it all out, but is it really going to turn out that way? I mean, maybe, but maybe not. That's why it's so important to listen to God's direction. He has the wheel. If He's telling me that this is where I need to be and this is what I need to be doing, even though I don't fully understand it, then that's what's best for me right now. God sees the whole path. He sees it before we even get there. We just see the parts of it while we're on it. It's so important for us to put our trust and faith in God. He is never going to lead us down the wrong path. We may get lost sometimes and start going down the wrong path that we shouldn't have gone down. But if you let God be your tour guide, He will never steer you wrong. He will get you where He wants you to be, and that's what He's doing for me. I may not know why certain things are happening, and I may not have it fully figured out, but God knows. He's going to get me through the twists and turns on my path, and He's going to get me up and down the mountains that I have to climb on my path. He'll do the same for you. So just remember, if you're feeling lost or behind in life, you're not. You're just off-roading with Jesus right now. You're not behind. You're right where you're supposed to be. So just enjoy the view. Just keep your faith, keep praying, and keep believing.